Hi, Zach.
Hello.
Welcome to ShortList.com.
Hi, ShortList.com. Thanks for having me. That was a great interview.
So, Zach, you've got quite a lot of theatre experience, but this is the first time you're ever actually acting in something which you've written yourself. Are you quite sort of intimidated by the instantaneous reaction you'll receive to your play, or is it quite exciting for you?
I'm thrilled. You know, I had the luxury of, we just did it this past summer in New York. I wasn't in the play because it was the first time we were doing it, and unlike directing a film or TV where you can kind of do a take and then go look at the monitor and see if you like the job you did, you know, there's no way to do that in theater. So I was advised, and I'm glad I was, to sit the first production out and really, you know, sit in the back of the theater and rewrite and shape it and change it and you know, evolve it.
What do you expect from British audiences? Because we can be quite reserved about our appreciation sometimes.
Is that true? Well, that's good to know. I won't expect any any reaction. You know, I think that maybe I have a British sensibility to my comedy, because the two main things I've done so far in my career that I'm most known for, Scrubs and Garden State, have both done really, really well over here. So I'm hoping that that the humor of my play translates as well. And there also happens to be a British subplot, if you will, in the play. One of the characters is a British woman who's you know, living in the United States, and so there's some fun stuff with her kind of making fun of Americans and her vantage point of living in America.
Does she use lots of British words to try and make her seem more British?
She does, but you know, it's funny. You know, wasn't lucky enough to have a British woman play her in the States, so it'll be really great to be able to you know, have the British cast help me and say, we don't really use that expression. We would say this, although we have to walk the line a little bit because she's been there for some number of years, this character, so she probably would have adopted some American expressions.
I read that you said sort of Ricky Gervais was the funniest person you've ever seen.
Yeah.
At one point. Is that still the same now? Or?
I think he's hilarious. I really think he's so funny. I feel like in the years since I first said that, he's gotten a little bit meaner, which is still fine, but there's sometimes when he's a little bit too mean. But I do think he is quite a very extraordinary, talented man.
So you're quite big on Twitter. Has this sort of made you a magnet for crazy people?
Well, the greatest thing about Twitter is if anyone's too crazy, you can block them. I mean, don't you wish you could do that in real life? Be like, sorry, my friend, it was nice talking to you, but you're out of your fucking mind. You're blocked. You can't do that in real life. So I love that about Twitter. It's like, if anyone's a little too freaky, I just block them.
Now, Garden State was such a massively popular film for so many people, especially people of my age. Do you still get people sort of drunken hipsters sort of
drunken hipsters
offering you their headphones and singing frou-frou at you?
Well, I try and stay away from drunken hipsters. It's the worst kind of hipster, is a drunken hipster. The film really resonated for a lot of people, and way more than I ever imagined. So yeah, it comes up a lot. Not as many times as I have people making references to Eagle and Scrubs, which is when I used to ride on Donald Faison's back, and they asked me if I could eagle them down the street, and I say, no, I'm sorry, I can't. I'm not strong enough.
Yeah, never have then? You never said yes to someone?
No, I say, go find Donald. He's strong like bull.
Speaking of Scrubs, it was such a massive part of your life for 9 years. Do you feel like a part of you sort of empty without it in your life? Is it you still miss it?
I miss. I feel like we had a great run, and so I don't miss doing the show per se. I miss my friends. I mean, essentially, what made it the most fun job of all time is we were really a great group of friends. So, you know, getting paid to go be a goofball with your friends all day is a pretty great job. So I miss the people and the laughs we used to have. But I felt like the show had reached its logical end, and it was time to move on and do other things. And as much as I am grateful for it and will always be so thankful for it, there's so much I wanted to do with my life, and it was time to move on and do things like do theater in the West End.
So with the Arrested Development, sort of now there's going to be a movie made a new series. Are you thinking of a Scrubs movie? Is that?
Do you know that I was in Arrested Development for an episode?
I do know that.
Yeah, I played a spoof of Girls Gone Wild, but my videos were called Girls with Low Self-Esteem. Philip something was my name, forgot. I hope I get invited to do a cameo in the movie because I was a giant fan of the series as well. But I don't think it'll be a Scrubs movie, no. We're also all over the place, and you know, I think that show has, we obviously have a crazy, awesome, loyal fan base, but I feel like the crazy, loyal, awesome fan base for Arrested Development felt like the rug was pulled out from underneath them too soon. So it was kind of a really logical thing. Well, okay, we'll make a movie for you guys. Whereas Scrubs had a 9-year run, I think, I don't know. Maybe. I mean, if someone asked me to, I'd say yes, but I don't think anyone's going to ask me to.
Maybe.
You got the exclusive here. I will do the Scrubs movie.
I know you've got a role in Sam Raimi's next Wizard of Oz prequel. Can you tell us anything about that, or are you sort of sworn to secrecy?
If I say more than I'm supposed to, a little Mickey Mouse drops down from the ceiling and sticks me with pins. I can tell you that it's they went back to went back to the bound books, you know, because there was a whole series of books. The Wizard of Oz was the only one, was the one that became known because they made the movie out of it. But there's lots of stories about the world of Oz. So they went back and made a prequel telling the story of how Oz became Oz. So if you recall, at the end of Wizard of Oz, it turns out the man behind the curtain is just a regular guy in charge of this entire land. So this tells the story of how did this seemingly normal guy end up in this wacky world.
What are your favourite things coming to England? Like, what things do you really look forward to?
What do I really look forward to? I mean, I'm going to try and see as much theater as I can before we actually start doing our show, because I won't be able to see them once I'm in production. So, because I love the theater scene here, I'd love to see some music and just explore around, you know, do a little pub crawl. I hear you guys like to drink.
A little bit, yeah.
I've heard about that.